Hello, everybody. Professor Barth here, Associate Professor of History at Arizona State University. It's a Christmas season. I would send a warm holiday welcome to you from my family and talk a little bit about the importance of the family as an institution in any free and prosperous civilization. Now, my wife and I were married in May of 2017. I was 33 years old at the time. It was a beautiful wedding, and we had big plans. We wanted a family. We wanted kids. And so within a year of the wedding, my wife became pregnant with our first child, and well, we assumed there was only one in there. Now, my wife had twins, or has twins on her side of the family, and so we floated the possibility of maybe there's twins, maybe there's two, but assumed there was one. Now, my wife is very holistic and wanted a home birth. She wanted to give birth to this child in the living room with the midwife and all the rest. And so she was reluctant to have a bunch of ultrasounds. She decided I'll have one ultrasound at 20 weeks. Midwife gave the green light to that. Now, in the first trimester, a lot of people just kept commenting, boy, what are you, 25, 30 weeks to my wife? And she said, no, I'm like 14 weeks. So we kept getting these comments, wow, you're very big. Now, this was my wife's first pregnancy, so how was she didn't know. We assumed there was one. Well, at 20 weeks, went in to get the ultrasound, and we were prepared for twins, okay? I mean, she did look a bit big, okay? It was our first rodeo, but still, you could tell maybe there's two. Went into the ultrasound, and the technician there took a moment, looked at the image. I didn't really quite know what I was looking at exactly. And she said, are you ready for this? I was like, all right. I'm thinking to myself, it's twins. And she put up 3 fingers. Triplets. Can you imagine how I was feeling? I'll never forget the feeling, actually. Just talk about a life changer. Okay, triplets. Wow. Okay, I mean, this is naturally conceived. Okay, we didn't do the no fertility treatment, no IVF, none of it. It's just triplets. Okay, and boy, my wife. Now we were excited that first day. We're just praising God, you know. And then, the reality kind of sunk in the day after. Realized, wait a second here. Went in for a more detailed ultrasound because our midwife, my wife called the midwife and said, we've got triplets. She said, oh, that's great. Now, you can't do a home birth anymore. My wife said, what? We can't do a home birth? No, you're going to have to do it in a hospital. So, and she said, you're going to need a more detailed ultrasound. So we went in a week later for that detailed ultrasound. That's what they look. I think this is at 21 weeks. Baby A, we didn't know if they were boys or girls. We decided to wait to find out until delivery. Baby A, baby B, baby C. This is at 21 weeks. By the way, I can't help but note that a lot of people out there will look at that image and they'll say that baby at 21 weeks isn't truly a life. I dare you to look at that image and still conclude that those babies there are not actual lives. But I digress. 21 weeks is about we get this image, and it really starts at home. Now, this is my wife around, I think this is 32 weeks. So one of the issues with triplets that we found out right away is that premature birth, okay? Usually triplets are born at around the 26 week, 27 week. Full term is 40 weeks. Okay, and if you're born at 26 weeks, you typically, the baby will make it. Actually, the baby can make it at 22 weeks nowadays, but it's going to have to spend a long time in intensive care. And in intensive care, it could be there for a few weeks, maybe a couple months. And so, right from the get-go, my wife and I said, my wife was determined, I want to take these triplets to as close to full term as we can get it. Okay, as close to full term as we can get. And I said, all right, let's do it. And so we both got together, put our brain power together, and did a bunch of research about the best diet for making it to as far as we can get. My wife set the goal of 36 weeks. She wanted to take him to 36 weeks. That's what she wanted. All right, let's do it. And found out, okay, you need a high protein diet. So we did a high protein diet. And the months rolled around. We found out in June that was triplets. July came. August came. And by August, some people are wondering, is my wife going to give birth early? Nope. September came. A lot of folks thought the birth date was going to be in September, in the late 20s, early 30 weeks. Nope. Kept going. And I just have to, hand it to my wife. Was just amazing through this process. Just an absolute, hero. Heroine, and just love her more than anything in the world, and she bore it, but she had so much joy in doing it. It's not like she wasn't complaining. Okay, now there were some days were harder than others carrying all those babies, 3 babies, okay, all at once, but she was just, it was incredible that, and I really thank God she's just filled with the Holy Spirit. That's what it is, that she was filled with the Holy Spirit. Now, I mean, there are many marvelous things that make women unique, but maybe the most marvelous thing is that women give birth to life. Okay, life comes from the woman. Okay, that's an amazing superpower. The only women can get pregnant, and that, by the way, and to digress very briefly again, that's what's so heinous about the fraudulent claim. I'm almost embarrassed to say it because it's so ludicrous, but that's what's so heinous about the fraudulent claim that men can get pregnant. It's not only is it absurd, obviously, and just utter madness to say something like that, but it's repulsive, it's repugnant, and it's anti-woman. No, only women can get pregnant, and women do a great job at it. My wife just absolutely conquered this pregnancy, and we I gave it away there. She took it all the way to 36 weeks. Made it to 36 weeks. We went into the hospital. Now, she had told her OB, and the OB was like, okay, let's try it. She said, I want to do vaginal birth. If I can avoid C-section, I don't want a C-section. Vaginal birth, and she didn't want an epidural. That was her choice. I said, honey, you sure you don't want an epidural? I don't want an epidural. Went to the hospital the morning of October 20th because the triplets hadn't come yet. So I was like, okay, we got to get this going here. And she just had this look of utter determination, grit, ferocity. One thing that makes women different from men is women have a certain delicacy about them that men don't have. But women, while delicate, also have a ferocity about them. That natural instinct kicks in, and in certain situations, like you attack a mama bear's cubs, that maternal instinct kicks in, that ferocity. And in the same manner, when it's time to give birth, the woman just like focuses in. She's ready to go, and my wife was ready to go. She joked as we were going to the hospital that she should put on war paint, like Braveheart style. And I said, honey, probably shouldn't do that. She thought about it. Just activated that inner warrior, went into battle, and just absolutely conquered. And that was the result. Look at those beautiful babies. Man. And unbelievable. Life. Now, we didn't know if they're boys or girls, so we had 6 names prepared, because you could have any combination. You could have 3 girls, you could have 3 boys. Hey, we didn't know. We had 6 names prepared, ready to go. Baby A, Ulysses, baby B, Atlas, and baby C, Ottoline. 2 boys and 1 girl. Absolutely amazing. What I witnessed that night. No time in the intensive care unit. No time in the intensive care unit. They made it. They actually went home with us 2 days later. The smallest baby was baby A, Ulysses, and he was 4 pounds, 13 ounces. The others were in the 5-pound range. And they were delivered naturally as my wife had wanted. What I witnessed that night was the most raw, most human experience I've ever had in my life. Just can't beat it. I don't think I'll ever have an experience quite like that night that they were born. Ultimately, it was God. It was God. We had a ton of people praying for us. Like, you have no idea how many people were praying for us. And as much credit as I've been given to my wife in this video, ultimately it was God. It was the Holy Spirit who gave her that strength. Who gave her a strength that she needed to conquer. And she conquered, left a champion. And then we, look at that. Look at that. That was the night that they were born. Just miracle. And then 2 days later, we brought them home. Woo! That was something else. And ever since then, that was 4 years ago. 4 years ago, and ever since then, we've been just grown as a family. And my wife became pregnant again. This time it was just 1. And this time she was able to have her home birth. And we did so with the triplets present. It was a daughter. Her name is Fern Historia Barth. And I have to say, fatherhood for me has been the greatest thing that ever happened to me as a man. As a man, fatherhood is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. Because part of what fatherhood does is it teaches you that the world doesn't revolve around you. All of a sudden, you've got all these duties and responsibilities and obligations, but you also have fulfillment and purpose. It provides that. And it's an incredible thing, fatherhood. It's an incredible thing. It's a lot of work. A lot of responsibility. You better take that seriously. But it is something else. Here's my kiddos. The picture's a little out of proportion there. There's Fern, the singleton. She's almost 2 years old now. And there's Ottoline. She goes by Ati, Ulysses, and Atlas. And that's our family. Welcome to the family, the Barth family. Now, sometimes you'll hear people claim today that the family unit is an outdated, pre-modern institution that's outlived its usefulness. You hear this a lot, and it's not a new argument. That sociologists and various academics in particular have made that argument for over a century. And indeed, there's been a major assault on the family unit. Major assault on the family unit since the 1960s with no-fault divorce. It's just so easy to just get divorced now. The oath the vow that you make with your spouse doesn't mean anything anymore. With the redefinition of marriage to include same-sex, but that's not real marriage. That's not real marriage. With the proliferation of single-parent households, where are the dads? Where are the dads in our culture today? The war on women, which we see. The war on men, which we also see. So there's a war on women and there's a war on men. That's an assault on the family. Daycare, just the kids are brought up by by strangers or by the state. Pornography. Oh, pornography, it just does immense wreckage. If you have a habit of watching pornography, you need to stop watching pornography. Abortion. Talk about a total assault on the family unit. Abortion, teaching that life is not life. That life is cheap and is expendable. That it's a burden, not a blessing. No, life is a blessing. Life is a blessing. All of these things, the assault on the family. But what about this idea that the family is outdated? That the family is past its usefulness? Well, the older I get, the more persuaded I am that the family unit is the institutional building block of civilization. The institutional building block of civilization. By family unit, I don't just mean nuclear, although the nuclear family is especially integral. It's the center, it's the nucleus. Also the extended family, our grandparents, your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, all of that. The family unit is the institutional building block of civilization. You look at any civilization in history, any part of the world, any time period, what do you see? You see the family unit. You see gender roles. You see respect for elders. You see the existence of an extended family unit of grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. And it's there to varying degrees. And it looks different in different times and different places. But it's there in all civilizations in history. It's natural. The building block of civilization is not Caesar. The building block of civilization is not Pharaoh. It's not impressive architecture. The building block of civilization is not colleges and universities. Give me a civilization with strong, vibrant families and no universities whatsoever, and I will take that civilization any day, over a civilization with an abundance of universities and no families, or an abundance of universities and weak families. A civilization with strong families is more prone to freedom and to liberty. The reason why it's more prone to freedom and liberty, if you don't have families, something has to fill that void. If you don't have the family unit, something has to fill that void. And more often than not, it's replaced by the state. The state will never love you like a mother or a father could love you. It will never love you like a mother or a father. It's not even close. Now, I know that some parents don't fulfill that duty. They don't love properly. Perhaps yours did not. But for the vast majority of parents, the vast majority, when you have a child, the love that you have for that child is indescribable. It's indescribable. And if there's anybody watching this video right now and you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about. You can't even really express it with words. When I've met my first child, Ulysses, baby A, and baby A came out. Okay. And I'm holding baby A. Now, I know who it is. It's Ulysses. I'm holding Ulysses in my hand. I immediately would put everything on the line for that boy. I'd die for that boy, which is a curious thought because I just met the boy. I just met him, right? Yeah, here I am. There's this creature here. I just met this baby, and I would completely lose it all for this baby. Okay? That's the love of a mother or a father. And the state will never, ever, ever come even remotely close to that. Or not just the state, but just society in general. It's the mother and the father. And you need both. You need both a mother and a father. Because they fulfill different roles. Men and women are different. They also have some overlap, some similarities. But men and women are inherently different. And so you need a mother and you need a father. Must have both. But the state will never replace the love of a mother and a father. That's why we must Build strong families. Call your mother and your father today and tell them how much you love them. Okay, call them up. Tell them how much you love them. No matter how flawed they are as a parent. I'm flawed as all get out, okay? I'm a very flawed man. I've made mistakes as a father, and some make more mistakes than others, but call them up today. Let them know that you appreciate the sacrifices they've made. You appreciate the things that they've done for you, the love that they've shown you, however imperfect that is. But we need strong families. Must have strong families. So that's my story. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And I wish you all the best in the year 2023.